Real Estate and Mortgage Show, your go-to spot for everything home buying, selling, and financing on News Talk 580 CFRA.
Welcome back, everybody. And Paul didn't even cough right as I was turning. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Perfect. Just had to get that out, Paul? Yeah, no worries. Frank, you were telling a really interesting story to Paul and I in the break there about some new releases that Minto did in Orleans last week.
Last weekend. So last weekend I did a story on CTV with Natalie Van Roy where she called me right after the show, actually, and said, Frank, you available for a quick interview? I'm just getting back from the Minto sales site in Orleans where 12 people camped from Tuesday on to get these
Tuesday to Saturday.
So they stayed overnight. Thank God it's in June and the weather was nice and stuff, but so from a weather standpoint, they did okay, but 12 people got to pick their lots and bought their homes, and most of them seemed happy, but it was all because of the HST rebate. This would not have happened without this HST rebate. Almost every person that she interviewed said, no, I'm only doing it because I'm getting this rebate. Otherwise, I wouldn't pay the price that they're asking for this home. It doesn't make any financial sense. But once you incorporate this HST rebate and a $750,000 home now becomes $660,000. Well, now it makes a little bit more sense.
So, but they only released 12 lots?
12. So it feels like, I don't know if people remember in 2018, 2019, builders would do this where they would release a certain amount of lots and they would create this frenzy where people, and I remember my niece actually camped overnight for 3 nights as well to get a home in Stittsville that they were releasing. So I hope that builders aren't playing this game now where they're creating frenzies by only releasing 10 or 12 so that they can start slowly jacking up their prices because, of course, supply and demand rule with how you price things. So
it's going to happen. It's 100% happening.
You think it's going to happen? Yeah.
Builders are putting out small releases so people can fight over these homes. Then the next release is coming out. It's going to be $30,000 more. Yeah. They're going to fight over those. The next release is coming out, $30,000 more. Builders, unfortunately, will take advantage of this loophole and put them.
Sure, they're a business as well. They have to.
They have to. But so here's the good and the bad of all this. So people are going to flock to new homes. I can tell you that right now. They're going to flock to new homes
because of the HST.
Because of the HST rebate. The bad of all this is they most likely have a home to sell. We already have a glut of inventory. What's going to happen when we get all this extra inventory on the market? There's the bad of it. The good of it for the resale market is Minto just released 12 homes. My guess,
12.
My guess, and I don't know the closing date, but my guess is these are going to be closing in summer of 2027, maybe even later. So they're a year down the road, 9 months down the road, 10 months down the road.
Easily.
And that's what most builders, they don't have the inventory right now. They're building on spec for 9, 10, 11, 12 months down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Ottawa's a very transient city. We have lots of relocations. We have lots of government. We have a lot of people who move in, need homes right now. The biggest fear for the resale market is, okay, my $600,000 townhome, you could go buy it brand new now for $520,000. What is this going to do to my resale home? Well, builders aren't building fast enough. They can't get shovels in the ground fast enough. There's no inventory. People need homes now. You can't buy a new home now and move into it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can buy a resale home and move into it tomorrow. So if you're on the resale market, and yes, it's a challenge right now in the market to sell, but if you're in the resale market, don't panic because people need homes now, and the builders aren't building fast enough for people to move in quick enough.
But there's both sides, right? I mean, there's people that are saving their down payment or aren't ready to buy now. And again, I mean, so there's some common sense in buying a house today that's not going to be ready until fall of 27, let's say, for younger maybe Canadians that are saying, you know what? I mean,
first home.
Yeah, my first home. It gives me another month and a half to live, or a year and a half to live with my parents, so I'm saving some money and getting myself in a position where we'll be able to move into the home and be more comfortable. So I get all that.
100%. I totally agree with that. 98% of my business is resale business, and so I have to deal with all the resale people. I see all the fear. I see the anxiety. I see the angst. And I'm just trying to tell the resale people, don't panic. Your market is not dead because of this new home market. It would be if there was 40 builders with 1,000 homes sitting there ready to move into. The resale market would be dead right now. That's not the way it is.
So in May, how many houses sold in Ottawa in May? Was it like
in May alone.
I don't remember.
1,200?
Yeah.
1,300, wasn't it?
1,600. So 12 out of 1,600 homes.
Yeah.
Like the math on that is
right,
pretty favorable to the resale market.
Yeah, it is. It is,
but
and
that's
what,
just one builder.
But
there's other ones.
Sure, but Minto's one of the biggest builders.
But
right?
that's why I'm saying, like, yes, Frank. If I'm someone who's buying my first home, I don't have something to sell. I need some time to save up. I want to live with mom and dad for a little bit longer to save up. Perfect. New home, ready in a year. Perfect. But if you're on the resale market and you're panicked by this, and when this first came out, I talked to a lot of resale sellers who were so panicked that they thought the value of their home was going to plummet. It's not going to happen. People need homes now, and the new homes are not an option because there's no inventory.
I know we talked about it a few weeks ago. If you're in the military and you're being transferred into Ottawa,
you need a home now.
You need a home in the next month or so when you're due on duty here in Ottawa.
Well,
right?
We also get a lot of government transfers too, right? We get a lot of government transfers.
Sure.
We get a lot
not
of
as many, I think, these days with all the layoffs.
Yeah, but we get a lot of military transfers, RCMP, like the police for sure. We get tons of transfers, and a lot of them are like, okay, you have to go shopping this weekend and you need to buy a house.
Yeah, this weekend.
Oh, and by the way, you're being transferred in 3 weeks or a month, so you need to buy that house now. So
you don't have time to camp out at a builder's site.
No, you don't have
hope
time
for one of 12 lots to be
No.
ready in a year and a half.
And that's not going to be the end of it. Like, we're going to see, the Madamies and the EQ homes and the Clement homes. We're going to see people camping out. I mean, our sales with Clement homes picked up too as soon as it came out. The first time home buyers, the 13%. So that the sales will definitely pick up. There's an appetite for the new homes. There's an appetite for the resale homes. All I'm saying, I represent the resale homes, and I'm telling you right now, don't panic. Don't panic. You're not dead. We're going through a tough time in a tough market right now. We are. And
overall.
Yeah, overall. And I tell sellers that all the time. Guys, we're in a tough market right now. Like, you have to do the right things. You got to make sure your home shows perfect. You have to list with the strongest representatives, and you have to be precision priced.
Which we talked about in the first segment. Yeah.
Precision priced. And if that happens, you will sell. If you don't listen to us on price or you don't follow what we're telling you to do, you will not sell. I'll tell you that right now. And only 44, as of the end of May, the numbers, only 44% of homes that hit the market are actually selling.
Yeah.
4 out of 10 homes are selling. 6 out of 10 are not selling.
And that's only a pricing issue.
It's 100% of it.
I think it's a buyer issue too. I think the buyers aren't out there. Not as many buyers are out there as used to be. And I'm getting, you talk about new builders. I'm getting clients that are calling me saying, Frank, I think I'm going to sell my current home and buy a new build, but because it's not going to be ready until the fall of 27, I'm going to make my offer now. And what we're doing is we're doing home equity lines of credit so that they've got the money to give the builder for the deposits. And then they're crossing their fingers and hoping that in the fall of 27, when they're ready to sell their home, that the value of their home has gone up. So again, but I say to them, well, that's a flip of a coin. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen between now and the fall of 27 when you sell your home. It might be worth more. It might be worth a little less. I mean, you don't know. But they're specifically buying that new home because they're graduating from a townhome to a single home, or they're graduating from one townhome to maybe a little bit bigger townhome. But they're doing it specifically because this HST rebate, because they're looking at it saying, if I can get this home for $100,000 less than what it's listed for, and I'm getting a brand new home, then I'm going to try and take a chance and go ahead and do it. So It's just interesting the way everybody has different methods of doing it. I had a friend of mine who sent me from Toronto, a mortgage broker from Toronto, and she sent me this graph of first-time home buyers. And in Toronto, the average first-time home buyer today is 41 years old.
I believe it.
In their 40s.
Well, when the average sale price is, what is it in Toronto, 1.2
I get it, but think about it.
Oh.
41 years old to buy your first home. That just seems insanity. In 1986, it was 32. In 2006, it was 36. All the way up to 41 right now. 41 years old, used to be in the 20s in Ottawa. Now, I know it's in the mid-30s to high 30s in Ottawa as well, but you used to be able to, graduate high school and say, okay, like if I can get a job for the next 6-7 years, I should be able to buy a home.
Right.
And not even close today, unless you've got parents that are helping. And
I'm sure
we're
you're seeing
the
a ton
numbers
of that.
are in the 40s right now. So 40% of first-time home buyers have a family member helping them, whether it's with down payment or having to co-sign or guarantee the mortgage.
Believe it.
One or the other, or twice, or both in some cases.
I believe it. So remember in the break we were talking about how my buddy Mike Crete just like chirps me.
He's the listener of the
says how
of the day.
Tells me how stupid I am and how smart Frank is and all that. So I get chirped, but you never think that my girlfriend would chirp me too. I get this is all I get from her. We're already at year 5. In case you forgot how to count, all of a sudden. Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
Petra, we love your listening. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Mike, you as well. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Love you too. Great friends I have here and great girlfriend. Yeah.
Hey, Frank, talking about first-time home buyers and all that kind of stuff, are you seeing more people kind of looking at the first home savings account type plans, the home buyer plan, like that kind of stuff?
Well, that's there. I mean, you can put $8,000 for 5 years, so to a maximum of $40,000. I mean, you've got multiple places that you could put money and kind of take advantage of it. RSP is another one where you can draw up to $60,000 and pay it back over 15 years if you're a first-time home buyer. Or a first-time home buyer is also considered somebody that's going through a legal separation and or divorce. So if you've got a separation agreement and if you've paid back, if you did an RSP home buyer withdrawal previously and you've paid it all back, you're eligible to do it again if you've got money in the RSP. So so that's good. But first-time home savings account is specifically for first-time home buyers. And then, of course, there's the TFSA as well, so tax-free savings account. So, again, there's lots of places to be able to do this. The problem isn't the places are there, and it's great that the government introduces them. The problem is that people can't get money in those things because it's too expensive to live. That's
your groceries are so expensive.
That's the problem. Yeah. It's not whether you can do that, but we're seeing a lot of living inheritances, so I'm seeing quite a few of them where, again, families are getting involved in the purchase. And in some cases, if the parents don't have to co-sign or guarantee the mortgage, then they're happy to give a contribution to get the kids out of the home so that out of their home so that they can be at home back alone and have their own life kind of thing. So
what, Frank, another option too is the reverse mortgage, right? Like parents taking a reverse mortgage to help the kids. Like, and I know it's expensive. It's expensive.
Well, it's a little more expensive than a normal mortgage, but it avoids payments. So if your parents are retired and living off of pension incomes, which aren't very high, they certainly haven't stayed with the cost of living. So more and more seniors are struggling with the amount that's coming in their pensions versus what it costs to live. So if they've got the equity in their home, you're right that a reverse mortgage is a great opportunity for a parent to be able to say, instead of us taking money out of our savings account, because we really don't want to do that, why not take out a reverse mortgage where we don't have payments and it's kind of an early inheritance for their kids? Because if they've got, and the problem becomes if they have multiple siblings, because parents are saying to me, well, if I help one, now I got to help the other two.
Right.
So how do I do this? So if they've got an $800,000 home that's paid for, in theory, maybe there's about $250,000, $260,000 that goes to each kid. What some parents have done is they'll take out a reverse mortgage for $200,000 and give that kid $200,000 and say, there's your portion of the equity of the home when we pass away, so that the other two siblings, and they do a contract. I always say do a contract at a lawyer so that there's no disputing it, and have all the siblings sign it. So that
be aware of the situation,
because there's a lot of people, who are elderly that they own their own home and they don't realize do we wait until I pass to give my kids the house for them to get that money, or can I take a reverse mortgage, take the money out now, give it to the kids? And then, yes, when they go to sell the house,
free. Yeah, parents, it's tax free if you do it at the living stage.
And then when they go to sell the house, sure, they're not going to get the whole $800. It's only going to be maybe $400, but they've already given the kids some money tax free.
And watch them use it, and actually enjoyed watching their kids get ahead as opposed to struggling to get to maybe a house purchase.
And a lot of kids at that age are in the years where they need the money, in the 40s 100%. And the 50s, maybe in the early 60s. They kind of need the money, right?
Yep.
Well, and back to what we talked about earlier, they need help. And if the average age of a first-time home buyer is creeping towards
30s
40
and 40s, they need help. And there's 40-year-olds that are struggling with debt. They're struggling, having to make decisions as to whether they put their kids in events because they really can't afford it anymore. And I've talked to multiple clients who normally would put their kids in 3 or 4 camps. They're only doing 1 or 2 because they're so expensive and they just can't afford it right now.
Have a question? Head over to realestateandmortgageshow.com. You can submit it there and we'll get it on air as quick as we can. Or give us a call at 521-TALK, 521-8255. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show, everybody. So Another Mike, who is a very long, loyal listener, sent me a very interesting article this week. Mike Caracetto.
Yeah.
So Mike sent me a story about a buyer buying a house. I think this was somewhere in Vermont or Connecticut. I can't remember. It says, buyer finds skeletal remains inside a foreclosed home.
Yeah.
And then his question was, crazy story. I'm curious, how many foreclosures happen in Ottawa annually?
Yeah, good. That's a good question. Like we may see more. Like they're not called foreclosures here; they're power sales here, but same idea. We used to back in the day. We used to get a few power sales here and there. There's not a ton. I mean, the delinquency rate's less than 1%. I think it was like 0.14 or something.
3/10 of 1%.
Yeah, so it's very, very, very low. Even though I remember seeing an article, I was talking actually to my coach Tom Ferry about this. He's like, in the States, this article came up saying delinquencies are up 420%. And it's like you read that article and you're like, oh my God, everyone's defaulting.
Every home is defaulting.
Every home's mortgage. And it went from like 0.34 to 0.61 or something like that. And here in Ottawa, the same article came out. It was like delinquencies are up 150%.
I think surging was the word they used.
Delinquencies are surging. And I think it's at 0.014 or whatever it is.
0.3, just under 0.3.
Yeah, 0.3. So way, way, way low. So there's not a ton of power sales in Ottawa. There'll probably be more in Toronto, but not as much in Ottawa. I don't know if we've handled a power sale, maybe 2 this year, which is not a lot. Which is not a lot of power sales.
And it's a different process than in the States as well, is it not? Like, do they? My understanding is in the States they often go to auction, which the banks don't do here. The banks put them up and they have a schedule where they.
Yeah, difference in the States where they drop off the key.
Yeah, so a foreclosure. A foreclosure in the States is basically when you're foreclosed on, the bank takes over your property and owns your property. You're not on the hook for anything else anymore.
That's it.
That's it.
You walk away.
You walk away. Power sales is different. You're still on the hook if the bank has to go in and do any repairs, if the bank has to go in and cut your grass and do this and do that.
Or they can't make the price that's owed on the property.
Yes, yeah. So there's more responsibility of a Canadian power sale than American foreclosures. And in the States, a lot of times people were actually, when they were foreclosed on, there's stories of people taking out kitchens and taking out bathrooms and taking out all the copper wires and taking out this and taking out that because they're not on the hook anymore. In Canada, with the power of sales, you start taking that stuff out of your house, you will be on the hook for it. It's going to come out of any proceeds, even though you won't get any proceeds.
You will get proceeds in Canada because in Canada they have to sell it at market value, where in the U.S., once they own it, they can sell it for whatever
they want. It goes to auction.
Want.
Yeah.
But they can sell it for whatever they want. They do the auction, but in reality, they can put a sign up in their bank. If it's a bank, they can put a sign up saying, hey, we're selling this house for $200,000 because they're owed $200,000. Yeah. And the house might be worth $300,000.
They want the $200,000. They don't care about
They don't care about the other $100,000. So, and the buyer or the person who owns the home has no say in it. Where in Canada, the person who owns the home technically has a say in it as well. They have to sell it for market value, and then whatever's left over does go to the person who owns the home.
Back in the day in 2008, when the states went through the major crisis, there was some neighborhoods in, like, let's say Detroit. There was some neighborhoods, brand new built neighborhoods that were, let's say it was a neighborhood of 200 homes, and let's say 110 were already built, and the other ones weren't built yet. People were foreclosing on these homes so bad that the bank owned pretty much the whole subdivision. They literally bulldozed the subdivision. Brand new homes. It was cheaper for the bank to bulldoze the subdivision than it was to try and get rid of those properties. And there was some neighborhoods that they just bulldozed. It was the wild
dark time.
It was a wild time. I know realtors were actually responsible for, they called it cash for keys. Realtors were responsible to try to get people out of their homes. They would actually front the cash to get people out of their home. I know realtors who had to front the money to repair homes in order to sell the home, and then the bank would pay them back. There was realtors who were on the hook for like hundreds of thousands of dollars before they got these homes sold. Moly. It was a wild, wild west. And then you go down to places like Texas and Detroit. They would be showing up with their guns in their holster as they're trying to do cash for keys, right? Because people weren't leaving, and then eventually they'd have to leave. The sheriff would come and kick them out.
So I guess at the end of the day, it's a different process in Canada versus the U.S.
It is, and we don't. I'm sure in the U.S. right now there's lots of foreclosures, not as many as back in 2008 and 2009, but I'm sure there's lots of foreclosures because there's some states and there's some cities in the U.S. that are so underwater, it's unbelievable. Yeah. We're here in Ottawa. We're a little bit more insulated. I mean, we do have people underwater right now. We are seeing some power of sales, but it's a very, very different process than the States, and we don't see a lot of them, that's for sure.
I remember I did shoot one, this was many years ago, and it had been stripped. Like it was walking into, like it had been stripped. Like they took the hardwood flooring, like the people that came up, like
Insanity,
there was wires ripped, like you could see where they just ripped the wires right through the drywall and like whatever. Like it was.
Was it tenants or was it the owners that did it? I mean, that's the question.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just the photographer.
Greg and I were talking this morning because we have some beautiful listings, but we also have some dogs. And I said to Greg, I'm like, you must see some funny things out there. Like you must walk into some homes and be like, oh my God, do I even need to bring out my camera on this one?
Crack the lens.
Yeah. No. I would love to see some of the homes you've seen actually.
I
write a book.
I know. I got to keep those to myself. There's a whole privacy thing with that.
You can write a book there.
You don't have to say the address, but you should say one time I saw this at a home. Yeah.
I've seen a lot, that's for sure. Yeah. All right, off that topic. Frank, birthdays?
Oh, wow, we're going to go right to birthdays. Right from there, right? Yeah, that's good.
Most of the stories I can't share on live radio being broadcast.
Wow. My sister celebrated her birthday yesterday. Say happy birthday to my little sis Maria. My good friend Franco Briglio, who's an agent with us too, celebrated his birthday yesterday. Was at a celebration of life. Lou Scott, who was one of my mentors when I started in this business with Canada Trust, passed away. So, again, thoughts and sympathies to the whole family, the Scott family. And, hey, big game tomorrow. Go Canada, go tomorrow.
Go Canada, for sure.
Let's go. Everybody wear red tomorrow.
Who are they playing?
They're playing South Africa at 3:00 in the afternoon. Just watch a soccer game for a change, Paul. Just do it.
My friends are getting me into it, Paul.
Really?
Yeah, I've never been a soccer, but I'm getting into it a little bit.
My sister lives in Australia, as you guys know, and her son is a soccer star. In fact, he's moving to England to play. Yeah, that's how good he is. And she always calls me. Did you watch the game? I'm like, what game? She goes, the footy game. Yeah. And I'm like, no, I didn't watch the footy game.
A buddy of mine says I'd rather watch paint dry.
I would too. Sorry, any soccer players out there. I'm just not a soccer guy.
It is a beautiful game, and actually the talent level is incredible. But what's more incredible is watching the crowds. The crowds at these soccer games are second to none. I wish we had that in hockey.
I agreed.
Just before we get off the air, I do want to apologize to all my Italian friends out there. How's Italy doing, Frank?
they haven't lost a game. They haven't lost a game, actually.
Sorry, all my Italian friends. I'm sorry.
Yeah, anybody who's Italian, do not list with Paul Rushford now.
Paul, do you have any birthdays, anything you want to
I'm good. No, I'm good.
Amazing. Everybody have an amazing week. Happy Canada Day.
Yep. Happy Canada Day. Please continue to support local businesses and charities, everyone.
Have a great week.
Canada.